there's a lot of people out there complaining about something that they don't have while simultaneously not doing anything to get that thing that they're complaining about that they don't have. So they just stand in the middle of no man's land complaining about their lack, and they're not doing anything, which is insane. So make a plan to get an agent. And if you need some help with that too, you can reach out with us. We actually have some training in Actors Audition Club that speaks to how to get an agent and the best strategies and tactics to do that.
Laughing Vikings Live. High vibe chats with actors, comedians, and creators, plus stand-up comedy, sketch comedy, and most importantly, you. That's right, join us every Monday for new episodes, and you can be a part of the show on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch. Ask questions and interact in the comments. And make sure to share this with your actor, comedian, and creator friends so they can be a part of the show too. Can't make a live show? No problem. You can catch up on your favorite podcast platform and visit laughingvikings.com to find out how you can join the cast and crew. All right, it's time for today's show. Buckle up and make sure you stick around to the end because we have a special surprise for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Laughing Vikings Live. Happy Monday Fun Day. Let's go.
Hey, welcome to day 3 Audition Hero. Hello, Internet Livers. Hello, replay people. And as we do here at Actors Audition Club, we're going to clap you in. You did it. You did it. Look at you making great life decisions, growing, improving. Pop off in the comments. Let us know what city you're watching from, and also remind us what your dream role is. Welcome, welcome, welcome to day 3. We got a doozy here. It's going to be a shindig, as they say. We got a lot of hullabaloo. So if you're in for digging shins and hullas and baloos, you're in the right spot here at Actors Audition Club Audition Hero Workshop. Thank you for joining us on day 1 and day 2. This is the workshop where you can learn the strategies and tactics that today's working actors are using to record winning auditions so that ultimately they can book more roles in television, film, commercials, and theater, and ultimately book their dream role and step into their dream role in 2022. We do this just a couple times every year, and this is day 3 of our summer 2022 series. So welcome. You're doing great. If you're this far, you're doing great. If you're just joining us for day 3 and you haven't seen day 1 and day 2, I'm going to finger wag at you. I'm wagging my finger. You're welcome to stay with us, but make sure that you go back and watch day 1 and day 2 so this all makes sense and you get the full picture and you get the full transformation that we promised you over these 3 days. So also make sure to register if you haven't formally registered. Go to the link. It's scrolling down below. You can go to laughingvikings.com/audition hero. Why do you want to do that? That'll give you access to all the replays so that if you did miss day 1 and day 2, you'll get to see them at your own leisure. If you were there for day 1 and 2, you can go back and rewatch and hash out some of those key moments and key lessons. And making sure that you're registered is also going to give you access to bonuses and what's that? Prizes. Everybody loves a good prize. Speaking of prizes, we've given out some free audition sessions, and I believe we have to give another one out. The last call to action was to post in the Facebook community group. It was to post your audition checklist. Day 2, one of the things we did was talk about an audition checklist. So we're going to give another one away. Let me think here. There was 2 people. There was Michael Ferrer and Adam Daniel Mazet. How can we do this? I'm going to flip a coin. Here we go. I'm going to flip a coin. Heads Ferrer, tails Adam Daniel Mazet. Someone say heads or tails. You know what we'll do? We'll give them both a session. Congratulations, Adam, Michael. You've both won free audition sessions where you can hook up with the session director via Zoom or in studio. So Congratulations, you guys did your homework. Who's this? There we go. We got Facebook users. Make sure to comment and interact throughout day 3 here. This is very interactive, so we're going to ask you questions. There's going to be some homework throughout, so make sure to give us feedback throughout. And we should let's do a little recap of day 1 and 2. So in day 1, what do we talk about? We talked about developing an audition hero mindset and identity. In order to make any transformation, you can't change your life or your circumstances without first changing your beliefs and your identity. So we talked about whatever the identity is that you're now in, the stories that you're telling yourselves, whatever obstacles or roadblocks or struggles, frustrations you're having, talking about leaving those behind and moving into your new audition hero mindset and adopting new sets of beliefs. Smashing out all of those old limiting beliefs. And we also talked about how professionals follow systems. We talked about pilots. We talked about surgeons. We talked about architects and engineers. Name a profession, and those people follow systems, processes, and checklists. That's what makes them a professional. So we talked about the importance of stepping into that hero mindset, going beyond being a bit player or a one-line player or a background player in your own life and also in your acting life, stepping into leading, playing roles in television, film, and theater. We got all kinds of people popping off in the comments here. Love it. Joao Pinho, one of our favorites here. He says, "Good afternoon, Laughing Vikings." Joao Pinho here. He's in Evora, Portugal, hometown hero in Portugal. So that was day 1. Go back and watch that video. And your homework in day 1 was to post a transformation video of, first of all, what your dream role is, and then also who you needed to become to step into that dream role in your own life and in your own career, things you needed to let go, new things that you needed to adopt. And then day 2, you can bring that up. Day 2 recap was we talked about the top 5 actor myths, a lot of mythical thinking that actors fall into. We smashed those beliefs out of there. We said, get out of there, actor myths. We also talked a lot about how to find more auditions. And we talked about creating your own personalized audition checklist so that you can be a professional. Remember, professionals follow systems and processes. You don't go to the hospital and get a surgeon who doesn't specifically follow a surgical checklist. And if you do, I suggest you upgrade your hospital, because that guy's not a professional. I don't think you're at a doctor. If you're just looking around and like, this is just a garage and this guy's not following a checklist, you're not at a hospital. Just some random dude's doing your surgery for you. Today's promise for you. Now, what are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about the big picture transformation. Again, we're talking about taking your auditions and your acting life, but specifically your audition life, wherever it is today, the stresses and anxieties and struggles and frustrations that you may be having around auditions. We're going to talk about moving from that state into the new identity and the transformation of audition hero, where you're crushing your auditions and booking more roles and ultimately stepping into your dream role. So we're going to talk about that big picture of what it takes, what you need to look at in your acting life and in your life to transform. We're going to smash through some more roadblocks and obstacles. And Little Birdie said Actors Audition Club is opening soon. So we're going to talk a little bit more about Actors Audition Club. Again, if you've joined us for day 1 and day 2, I just want to remind you, give yourself the gift of focus and attention. So close out other tabs, close out your other notifications. You're here today. You've made that commitment. It's very easy these days to be at 10 places at once and not really focus. We're all texting or we're all answering DMs and multitasking. But we want to be present here and make sure that you get the most out of this. So also, it's about setting an intention. So what I want all of you to do right now is just take a moment and set an intention for the rest of this workshop. What do you hope to get out of it? Where do you want to be in a little over an hour when we wrap up? What are you hoping to learn today? Maybe there's a specific question that you want to ask the universe, and you're hoping that that is going to be answered either by the universe or by us on the workshop. But feel free to put that in the comments as well. Let us know what is your intention for this workshop today, and what are you hoping to get out of it. The big thing that we want to just impress upon you, and one of the overarching themes throughout all of this, is the idea of a transformation, but just talking about how systems and processes, following professional systems and processes with your auditions, is the number one most effective and most efficient way to transform your auditions, and then obviously transform your career. You obviously, like, everyone here needs to be taking acting classes and learning their craft and improving their craft, becoming a better and stronger actor. But then if you do all that but don't follow professional systems and processes and checklists, you're going to be leaving a lot on the table, and you're probably going to be living an audition life of stress, of anxiety. Maybe your auditions are taking 3 times as long. Maybe you're having to bug family members and your friends. Maybe you're missing deadlines. Maybe you're getting your auditions in very late to the deadline, or missing deadlines outright. You're the type of person where every time you do an audition, you got to figure out, where am I going to shoot this? When am I going to shoot it? Who am I going to bug? So all of those stresses and obstacles in your audition life, we want to transform those, and we want to smash through those, which is why you're here today. So we want to talk a little about personal stories of transformation. A little bit about me as a reminder. I've been a professional actor. Actually, I started as an actor, I would say, as an amateur in 2009, also at the same time as a stand-up comedian. Previous to this, I had a life working in a life insurance company. I was in the corporate world, but then I woke up one day and was like, this corporate world is not for me. This isn't my dream life. I had always had aspirations of showbiz and seen it from a distance and thought, oh man, it'd be cool to do that kind of stuff. So I answered an ad that was on Craigslist that said, so you want to be a comedian? That was an amateur night at Yuck Yucks. Then I got into sketch comedy and improv, dinner theater. And then in 2013, I moved to Toronto, and that's when I took things professionally. So now it's been almost 10 years that I've been working as a professional in television, film, and theater. But around 2017 was the time that I was starting to get new self-tape auditions, where self-tapes started to become a thing. Remember, we used to go into the audition room, and the casting director would be there and producers would be there, and you do a live audition. But we started to get these things called self-tapes. And instead of being excited about getting a new audition, I was anxious and stressful and confused, because it was like, where am I going to do this? When am I going to do this? Who's going to be the reader? Who's going to run camera? Where am I going to set it up? Is the lighting okay? All of these things. So there was several auditions. I hate to say this, but there was auditions where I missed out on the opportunity because I didn't get the self-tape done, just because I was like, either I'm traveling or I'm out of town, or I just didn't have the gear handy, or I got them in late, or I know that I was able to submit them, but they were just unprofessional. The lighting was crappy, background was crappy, maybe just not good, not professional level. So it was around 2017 when I made the decision, you know what, if I'm going to be a professional actor, I need a professional studio and a professional audition system. If auditions and recording my auditions is the way I need to get jobs, that needs to be something that every time I have the opportunity to do it is smooth and stress-free and professional. So that's what I did. I went out, I bought the lights, I bought a backdrop, I bought a camera. I set up a dedicated space at home. So I had my home studio, and this was all pre-pandemic. And then all of a sudden, when an audition came up, all I had to do was turn on the lights, turn on the camera. I also found an audition buddy where I had an actor friend who was a professional in the business, professionally trained actor, knew how casting worked. And so I was getting him to help me be my reader as well. And then in 2017, I actually leased a studio space and had the realization, hey, you know what? This is a problem for actors. recording our own auditions is kind of a pain in the butt until you have a system for it. So we started Actors Audition Club, and we started helping professional actors record their auditions for television, film, and theater. And since 2017, we've helped hundreds of actors all over the world now since the pandemic, because we also do the sessions via Zoom. We've helped hundreds of actors record thousands of auditions for television, film, video games, commercials, theater auditions. We've helped actors get record auditions so that they can actually land an agent as well, or apply for specific showcases or grant opportunities. So we've done thousands of that, thousands of those audition sessions. But all of that transformation came from me shifting in 2017 and having the realization that if I want to play in the big leagues, I need to have a big league system. I need to have the equipment. I need to have the means and the system to do this. I can't just be like winging it every time. So I made that investment in myself. I made that investment in the studio. And then we started to grow our community by offering these services to other actors. And since then, we've had dozens of bookings, countless testimonials of actors booking huge projects, lead in Hollywood blockbusters, lead in series leads, ensemble leads, national commercial campaigns, and that continues to grow. So we want to share some of those transformations with you here, because when you make the shift from going from a small thinking or limiting beliefs to becoming an audition hero and becoming an audition professional, all of a sudden you start to rise up and you start to seize these opportunities because you're putting in better work, better auditions, and you're surrounding yourself with professionals as well. We have a big saying that says, a rising tide lifts all boats. So when we win, you win. When you win, we win. When you're in a community of winners and everyone who's growth minded and looking to constantly level up, naturally, when you're around that, chances are you're going to level up too. So we want to share some of those in the video here. I'm just looking at the comments. So we're going to roll a couple transformations, some videos of actors sharing some of their inspirational stories. The first three that we're going to share, these are actually our finalists for our Audition Hero contest. The first one is Jareen Ignatius, and she was our runner-up in our last contest. So roll the clip.
Hello, this is Jareen Ignatius, and this is my story of inspiration. So prior to working as an actor full-time here at home in Canada, I was working as an actor outside the country. After the pandemic broke out, I came back home and I was anxiety stricken. There was a lot of worries about the future. I mean, the entire world was stuck at one point, right? I wasn't alone. So after being low-key for some time, I decided two things mainly. One, I wanted to stay back home and work as an actor full-time, not leaving the country anymore. Second, I wanted to start working on my craft, really put myself through training, start learning as much as I can. Because as a learner, or when you're learning, there is not much commitment, right? You know, people are not going to judge you. So that put me at ease a bit. And I was going crazy at that. I was taking classes from various parts of the world. I was working on my voice. I was working on my body. I was doing dialect work. English is my second language, so I had to do some accent reduction work. And I started training myself in general American dialect as well. Till this day, I continue all this. After a year, I started applying for the agencies, and I got represented by Premier Artists Management. Yay! So now my second phase of acting career started with auditioning. Real professional auditioning. I didn't want to mess up my audition, right? I need to make a good impression among the casting directors. I really have to give my 100% in every audition that I do, regardless of whether I book them or not. That's when I started collaborating with Laughing Viking. Seriously, I don't know what would I have done without them. It's like the universe knows exactly what I needed in every part of my life. It was such a pleasure working with them. The one thing I like the most about Laughing Vikings is that they treat my audition as if their own audition. Whoever is helping me would treat my audition as his or her own audition. There's a lot of commitment. There's a lot of details they put in. There's a lot of care in providing that help. It didn't feel like that I was getting a service from someone. It was more like with your buddies, you're brainstorming your ideas and they're helping you. That's kind of a feel I get every time I audition with Laughing Vikings. They were part of my success this far. They were there with me from day one, and I'm sure they'll continue to be with me going forward. I really want to express my gratitude towards their support. It's like a community, and we do need this community. Once again, thank you so much.
Jareen Ignatius. To know Jareen is to love Jareen. We've had the pleasure of working with her now, countless, I would say dozens and dozens of auditions, helping her submit winning auditions for TV, film, and commercial projects. And we've actually never met her in person. That's the super fun thing about this. And I would say silver lining of COVID is we're able to meet people now in this global community. And the last Audition Hero workshop, we had people from all over many continents, Canada, the US, Mexico, Portugal, Lebanon, the United Kingdom. So this is amazing that we get to do this. And we're meeting people that we haven't met in person, but we wouldn't know otherwise if not for Zoom and this kind of technology. So Jareen's such a positive person. She's got such a great growth mind. She's decided what she wants in her head, and then she figures out, okay, if that's what I want, what do I need to learn? Like, where's the gap? What's the gap in skills? What's the gap in mindset? And then how do I need to get there? So she truly has made a transformation, and we love working with her. So congratulations, Jareen, Audition Hero runner-up. Now we're going to show you Adam Daniel Mizet, who was our Audition Hero grand champion. And that actually qualified him for the prize. He got a 10-pack of audition sessions, and he also got an entire year's membership with Actors Audition Club, where we took care of his entire year's enrollment for him. So here we go. Brandon Knox, he's popping in here. He says she works on her voice every day. Yeah, of course, commitment and craft and just doing the work, right? Like a professional. Professionals work at something every day. So it's like, are you a dabbler at this, which is okay? And then if that's what you want to be, then be a dabbler. Do it part-time, do it for fun on the side. But if you want to be a professional and top level, then obviously that means follow professional habits and follow professional systems. Now, so let's roll Adam Daniel Mizet, our Audition Hero grand champion.
Hey Vikings, Lars, BK Broiler, and the rest of the Vikings coaches. I'm Adam Daniel Mizet. I've been coming to the Vikings Audition Club for the last going on 3 years. It's been tough during the COVID era, although I've probably made some of my best progress during these sort of unusual times. I also want to dedicate this small hosanna, this grab ass, to my father, Peter Mizet, who passed away on New Year's Day, January the 1st, 2022, who himself was a very cinematic individual. My dad was in retail for like 50 years. I used to watch him go into characters and put on accents and stuff like that when he was dealing with his clientele, which is, I suppose, where I get some of my shenanigans and my antics and my ability to do accents and things from. Henry Marsh, who was an American sprinter, wrote this book called The Breakthrough Factor, which I read back in my university days in McGill in Montreal. And he talks about this idea of incremental improvement, which means that, if he would have 2 heats, if he would finish at a better time in the subsequent heat than in the previous heat, even if he didn't win the race, he was making improvement. And eventually he competed in 76, 84, and 88 in Montreal, Los Angeles, and Seoul. And he ended up winning a lot of gold medals based off of that approach. I'd have to say that's the kind of approach that I take when I work at the Laughing Vikings. Every time I go into an audition session, I always want to do better than the previous time. I want to get as perfect as possible, if I can use that word. I mean, obviously, failure is a great part of getting better as an actor and in honing your craft. But I just love getting in there, stepping into the box, having that at bat, and just kind of like doing the absolute best that I can, leaving everything that I can at the studio. I love coming into the studio, even though I can do a lot of these things at my place here. I just love that camaraderie. I love that coaching. Brendan and Lars, who I do a lot of tapes with, they always know the right thing to say, and they couch it in the right language, and they give it a framework, and they give it terminology so that it can kind of anchor itself in your brain. They really make you feel like you're doing your best work. They really make you feel like this is the job that you can get. And they really want to see the success of all the actors that walk in through those doors. It's not just about taking your money and running, so to speak. It's about actually seeing you book big gigs and jobs and getting better and getting a recurring role. I mean, Laughing Vikings will be the place there where I get my recurring role. It is going to happen within those doors on Queen Street East. It is going to happen there, and I can't wait for that to happen. That is going to happen this year in 2022. I vowed to do it this year. Thanks, Lars, Broiler, for always being in my corner, especially during these very difficult times in my life. I can't wait to do more audition sessions. I was even going to come in today when I'm recording this, but unfortunately I had some other plans. And thank you so much for being who you guys are.
Adam Daniel Mazzei, he was our Audition Hero Grand Prize winner. Congratulations to Adam. Yeah, we love having Adam in here, and he's very dedicated. He's always taking classes, and then on top of classes, he'll book sessions with us to run his class scenes. Obviously, he's booking with us to actually record his auditions. He's constantly looking to grow and looking to learn and looking to up level, and he really treats it like a professional. He's putting in the hours, he's putting in the work. It's a lot like sports, right? It's the guys who are all stars and the guys who are Hall of Famers are the guys and girls, men and women, who show up at the gym earlier than everyone else and they leave later than everyone else. And everything that they do in between is a top level system and process, and there's method to the madness. They're not just showing up at the gym, wandering around with the ball and picking up haphazardly, picking up weights and just bouncing off the walls. There's a plan to it because they're pros. Now let's, speaking of pros, let's roll another Audition Hero transformation video. This is Shaquille James Hostins, who was our second runner-up in our Audition Hero contest. Roll the clip.
What's happening, everybody? My name's Shaquille James Hostin. I'm not very good at telling stories, so bear with me. Here we go. I've been in the pursuit of acting for a long time now, but I fell in love with the business a little while before that. You see, I was somebody who was never really anybody's favorite cup of tea. I'm still not to this day. But you want to know what? That's fine. Because a long time ago, I decided that I was going to put all my effort, all my strength, and everything that I believe in into this business, into this crazy business known as acting. I just have a passion for taking stories, for taking words on a page and giving them life, bringing you quality content and entertainment each and every time. Because if you're not enthralled, if you are not inspired to get up and do something after you watch a performance, especially after you watch me, then I haven't done my job right. So here I am, and this is my story. I stumbled upon the Laughing Vikings back in 2019, always passing them when I was on the streetcar. I was always like, what does this sign mean? What is Laughing Vikings? It probably is something acting related. So I went to Google because that's what Google's for. And lo and behold, my questions were answered. I've been doing self-tapes there ever since. And I must say, I have not been disappointed, not one time. Lars, Brandon, heck, even Luna, they all care. And they want you to bring your best effort each and every time you are there. It's just a great atmosphere. Every time you walk in, it's hello, how are you, how have you been, let's rock this. We know what we're doing today. And I greatly appreciate that. Because after all, energy is everything, and your thoughts are things. So when you walk into somewhere with a good mindset, when you walk into somewhere with good, energetic, and enthralled people, you know that you are going to do a great job each and every time. So for that, I say thank you to everybody at the Laughing Vikings. And to everybody out there who's also pursuing this crazy dream, believe in yourself. Just believe in yourself. Because I've been at this thing for a long time. And after all this time, hey, it's finally starting to show for me. So, keep going, because the world needs you. I believe in you, so why can't you believe in you? Think about that. All right, everybody. Stay well, stay blessed, stay safe. Don't stop believing. Peace.
Shaquille James Hostins. One of my favorite parts about that video is he starts off by saying, "Hi, I'm not very good at telling stories." And then he proceeds to tell a very inspiring, transformational story. So I see what you did there, Shaquille. You lured us in. Hey, I suck at this. And then he blows us all away with an inspirational story. Yes. So that was those were our 3 winners of our Audition Hero contest. Now, speaking of positive energy and speaking of being around the right people, we have a special live treat here for day 3. On day 1, he was unable to join us because he was on set. He just recently booked a lead role in a feature film that was shooting outside of town. So he wasn't in the studio working the computer here as a producer. Usually he's my co-host on Laughing Vikings Live. Then on day 2, he was back because he's got a little downtime. And on day 3, we're like, we got to get him in here. So please welcome Actors Audition Club Session Director Extraordinaire, Brandon Knox, a.k.a. the BK Broiler, a.k.a. Fort Knox, a.k.a. DJ Spotify. Brandon, where you at?
Hello.
There he is. What's up?
Not much. It's been great. Thank you all for being here at Actors Audition Hero Day 3 event.
There you go, buddy.
Excited to be here.
It's good to see you. Yes. Thank you for all your help backstage. Brandon's, if you're wondering about all these fancy banners and tickers and when videos play, that's Brandon clickety-clacking on his laptop. And shout out to StreamYard as well. Also, just reminder to everyone who is watching live, share this out. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, share it live. And if you're watching the replay, then you can share the registration page and share it with your actor friends as well. Brandon, let's talk. I want to have a little conversation with you because this is about your 2-year anniversary in being a part of Laughing Vikings and Actors Audition Club. I knew you a few years before that from the community. I knew you from a handful of theater productions that you were in, and also knew that you were a television and film actor as well. You had actually come into sessions at Actors Audition Club here at Laughing Vikings before you were working directly with us. So I want you to talk a little bit about your personal transformation, and I also want you to share some any recent things that you learned or ways that you grew, because you were just on set shooting a feature film last week. So tell us about both of those things.
Okay, so I started working with Laughing Vikings in August of 2020. It was in the heart of lockdown. I had just stopped working at my restaurant job because they didn't really have enough hours for me because of the lockdown and people not being allowed in restaurants. And so I didn't have much to do. And I saw a post on Facebook that Lars had posted, and it said, we're looking for self-tape audition directors or self-tape audition coaches. And you have to have editing experience, and you have to know, you have to have been in the business and know self-tapes and understand it and be able to edit them. And I had a panic attack because I didn't know how to edit whatsoever. And I thought that was a deal breaker. And I had a mini conniption fit. And thank you to my roommate and best friend, Zach, for really helping me talk me down and apply for this position. And I found out about a week later, Lars sent me an email saying, hey, we would love for you to work at Laughing Vikings. And so I started working at the end of August here, running sessions with actors. And that has completely changed my outlook on performing, on auditions. And it has really reshaped how I approach my work, because I now reaffirmed that I approach things with a sense of fun, with a sense of play. And the more you do that and the more fun that you have with your auditions, the easier it is to let it go and not worry about the end result of it. If I book it or not, I don't care. As long as I had fun with that audition, I am okay with that. And I hope that for everyone that comes in here, that they feel that as well, because I want them to leave with a sense of accomplishment, because each audition is an accomplishment. And I firmly believe that if you have fun and if you do the things that make you happy as a performer, you will feel rewarded when you leave and submit your audition, regardless of the outcome. And that's really what I strive to do with each and every session and each person that comes into Laughing Vikings to work on a self-tape. What really changed my approach for me this year is after the Audition Hero first event that we did back in January, I set up a meeting with my agent and I decided that I wanted to have a theme for the year. I talked over a strategy with them, and I talked about what I was looking for this year and what I wanted to do. And the theme that I ended up coming to as the thing that I wanted to do for this year was be so good they can't ignore you. It's a Steve Martin quote from his book. Fantastic read. I highly recommend it. And so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be so good that no one would ignore me. And this year has been the best year of my life. I have booked a commercial. I have booked a series role that did end up getting cut, but I still booked it. I booked a lead in this feature film that I've been shooting in North Bay. I shot 2 days last week, and I'm going back in a week to shoot another couple days on set. And I'm very excited. It has been a completely eye-opening experience working with some of the people on set. I can't reveal that right now, but when I can, I definitely will. And we will definitely be sharing the trailer and whatnot.
NDAs.
It's going to be a very exciting picture with a lot of very exciting people attached to it. And so I am completely overjoyed to be working. The one thing I did learn while I was on set that I hadn't thought of before is the camera is the same as a stage. If you can see the camera and if you can look at the camera and have both eyes that can see the camera can see you. And that I had never even thought of before. And it's something I will always take with me now. It is something I have learned and I will take with me for the rest of my life.
Interesting. So you have a new relationship with camera, do you?
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime I can find something that relates to something I had already learned, it completely internalizes for me. And now I'm like, oh, it's like the light bulb moment where you're like, now I get it.
Right.
Right.
Do you want to speak just a little bit to the importance of following like a process and a system? I know we've talked about it a lot in very much detail, so you don't need to go into super detail. You can maybe highlight a couple of your favorite things, but talk about the importance of your audition prep and the actual process of shooting auditions, whether it's your own or helping other actors record theirs.
Yeah. Oh, it's 100% important, because if you have a checklist, then you already have something in place so that you don't have to worry or feel like it's a chaotic rehearsal process, right? Like I want to feel confident. The Tom Todoroff, the 3 tenets of acting are relaxation, concentration, and imagination. And if you're relaxed, you're able to concentrate and imagine the possibilities that can go on in that audition. So if you have that checklist in place, you're already 5 steps ahead of everybody else. And that's what I believe about checklists. If you're able to do that and have that system in place for you. So I'll talk a little bit about what I do when I get an audition. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So the first thing I do is I look up the director, I look up the producers, I look up the writer, I make sure that I know the world in which they like to create, because every team is different. But if you can find the pieces that come together to create this particular production, you know what's about to happen, and you can have a game plan to go in with those sides. Now, then what I do is I look at the page number that those sides are on. So if it's page 4, if it's page 20, and it's a series show, a half-hour series-long show, I know where things are going to be placed, because I've also watched a couple episodes of the show itself, so that I can understand the pacing, I can understand the tone, and I can understand where things happen and why they happen. Because if you know the who, what, when, where, why, and how, you are miles ahead of everybody else. And then what I'll do is I'll read it over. I won't look at trying to learn the lines. I don't work with memorization anymore. What I do is I play around. I play around with the words. I play around with the whole scene, with the story, with tones, with understanding of what's going on. And then I'll start getting up on my feet. I'll start working on the words. I'll start pacing around. A thing that I absolutely love to do, which really gets the words in my body, is stepping the text, which is taking a step on each word of the line. Then what I'll probably do is I'll probably write it down for myself. So that way I have my own copy if I don't want to have a printed copy. It also saves paper as well. And then what I'll do is I'll probably do that in front of a camera with Zoom. I use Zoom a lot because then you can have a session that goes on for a long time by yourself and just keep filming yourself. Then at the end, you'll watch each take, see what worked and didn't work, and keep working on it from there. I like to make sure that I have the words and the scene and the story in my body the night before, so that I can sleep on it, and then I know what they are. And so I don't have to worry about the words or the lines or the story or anything. Then just doing my audition at Laughing Vikings or at home, if depending on the time. And I will just do it because I'm relaxed. I found things that I enjoyed in the scene, and I know exactly what part of the story I'm in, and I know exactly what's going on in the story that I want to tell. Because that's also important. Finding the story that you want to tell is also just as important as finding the overall arcing story of the show or movie that you're in.
Ding, 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 ding. Love it. Great answer. All right. So the other question I have, this is a two-parter. You have worked with, now you've done hundreds of audition sessions via Zoom and in studio, but we're doing more and more via Zoom internationally as well. So can you talk, and you can cover Zoom or studio ones, but maybe lean towards the Zoom maybe a little bit. Can you talk, of all those hundreds, you've helped dozens and dozens of people book auditions as well. So without naming names or anything or productions, are there 3 things that you see or notice in the leading people that you work with that they do differently? And then 3 mistakes that you see people who maybe aren't quite at that level make in their auditions?
The 3 things that I see in people that come in here and book, whether it be over Zoom, whether it be in studio, is they are completely relaxed. They're always their body is very still. They are very still people. Tom Todoroff likes to say, the love doesn't hit a moving target, which I think is a fantastic quote. And Tom Todoroff is full of them. And I highly recommend his classes, which they do a Saturday Zoom class. Highly recommend that.
Yes. Todorofisms, we refer to them.
Todorofisms. Ooh, I like that. But they are completely relaxed. They are very still in what they do. And they have a great control of their voice. And those are the three things that I really see with people that come in here and book consistently is those three things. Stillness. No, I can't even remember. Those three things are the things that I notice. The things that I think are a detriment to people when they come in here is if they've memorized a certain way. It's one of the biggest things you'll notice, because they'll have stressed so much about getting the words off the page and making sure that it's in their mind, and it's all up here. It's not part of the whole body. It's all just here. And all you're listening to is to be or not to be. That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous. And it's not constructive. It doesn't help. So that's why I highly recommend doing the step the text, know the story, get the words off the page. And we've also recommended doing it 250 times different ways. Saying the lines aloud 250 different ways. Sing it, dance it. Doesn't matter. Just don't make performance choices. Let the performance happen when it happens. Don't let yourself make choices. Don't let yourself get cemented in a way of saying or doing something, because that's not going to help you in the long run.
You mean during the rehearsal process, stay open and stay playful rather than
And even when you're in here and you're doing something a certain way, and like that's the way you've practiced and memorized and rehearsed it only that one way. If I say, well, why don't you do something? Maybe why don't you attempt to do the line a little happier?
Right.
And they can't do it.
Yeah, they're locked in. Yeah, also means you're not going to be able to take a redirect from casting, and you're not going to take a redirect from the director on the day, which means you will probably either not get the job or you'll get fired.
Yeah. Yeah, and we don't want you to get fired.
Right. All righty. Any final thoughts, final words on your actor transformation? And or words of wisdom to our audition heroes?
Be so good they can't ignore you. Be so committed to your craft. Be so committed to learning new things. Be so open that you're able to allow those things to affect you. The more you do that, the better off you're going to be.
Love it. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
For more, of course. Yeah, we love all your work here. You're a huge part of the community. Super grateful for all the help that you've done with Actors Audition Club, with Audition Hero, and also helping hundreds and hundreds of actors record their auditions and book life-changing, game-changing roles. So thank you.
Thank you.
It was great. And to learn more from Brandon, make sure to go subscribe to our podcast, Laughing Vikings Live. All of those Audition Hero people, that actually Jareen and Shaquille, we haven't had Adam on there, but those Audition Hero videos, they actually have their own full episodes. I'd suggest listening or watching to Shaquille's and to Jareen's as well. Brandon has his own way back in episode 19, and we got episode 100 coming up soon. So if you subscribe now, you can be on episodes. You can listen to episode 100 when it comes out. Probably going to be coming out next week, which means you might also win prizes. So many prizes. So many prizes. All right. Thank you, sir. Yeah, for any of you who have questions, feel free to reach out to Brandon, shoot him a DM. Yeah, he's amazing. So what we wanted to wrap up with today is really the big picture transformation for you. What do you need to learn? What do you need to work on in your audition world to make the transition from wherever you are now to being that audition hero who's booking more in television and film and eventually booking your dream role? What we're going to talk about and what we focus on here and what our actors here at our Audition Club really focus on is 5 things. And that big picture is, number 1, focusing on your audition mindset and your identity. Thoughts become actions, but everything begins with thoughts. So whatever your thinking is and whatever your mindset is going to determine what you get in your life. So if you're fucked up here, it's going to translate. So that's what we focus on first. Number 2 is it does come down to a numbers game. More auditions are likely going to be in, you could go back to that first list, Brandon. That's cool. And then we'll go through each one individually. Finding more auditions. The more auditions you submit for by the numbers, chances are the more gigs you're going to book. But also you want to improve. So it's really 2 things. If you look at the math of how to book more roles, it's submit to more auditions, take more swings, take more at-bats, and then improve. So turn up the dials on your preparation and on the craft of your storytelling, meaning also being in classes and taking workshops so that you are improving. But if you're finding more auditions and then you're, this is so simple, but it's like some people ask, well, how do I work more in television and film? Submit more auditions and submit stronger auditions, meaning increase your audition prep. Number 4 is shooting winning auditions. So actually your habits and processes on the day. And number 5 is building a team, building a community. So we're going to talk a little bit about all those things. Make sure throughout, take some notes. Feel free in the chat if you have questions or you want clarifications, pop those in. But just a little review on mindset. Everything begins with your mindset and your thoughts. Whatever, a lot of times people think like that I don't want to get super meta here, but it's going to get kind of meta, is there's not really one fixed reality. Whatever your perspective is becomes your reality. Whatever your thinking is, like the same thing can happen and it really affects one person and it doesn't affect another person at all. Or one person, it makes them cry, and another person, it makes them laugh. So it's different and it's subjective. And wherever you are in your life right now, it is the function of your thinking, a function of your thoughts, your limiting beliefs, the stories that you tell yourself. For actors, maybe it's I'm not getting enough opportunities, or I don't have I need a better agent, or I need an agent, or I'm not in the right market, or they never give me enough time to audition, or I don't have money to invest in a home studio, or I just don't know the right people, or I just need to be given that one shot. Whatever those thoughts are. You also might be an actor who's just thinking, oh, I'm just a background player, or I'm just a one-liner. So smashing through that mentality. And really, I'm assuming if you're on this call, your goal and your long-term goal, if your goal is to be a professional, is to be a leading player in television, film, on theater shows, but to be a lead player, to be the lead role, and to be the lead role in your life, not to be a background player, not to be a one-liner or a bit player. And that's all well and good. And if you want to do that for that's great. And you always hear the term, there's no small roles, there's only small actors. And that always made me laugh. And because I'm like, yeah, there are small roles. Like, I get it. I get the mentality of, okay, we need a team, and sometimes you need bit players. In sports, you need someone to come off the bench, and in baseball, you need pinch hitters and backup catchers and backup catchers. But that's not who you aspire to be. I don't think any little kid is like, oh, it'd be great to be the backup bullpen catcher one day in the major leagues. No, you want to be an all-star. You want to be a Hall of Famer, which means a little bit of a shift in mindset. Because there are small roles. They have a smaller paycheck attached to them. They have a smaller amount of lines. They usually have a smaller trailer. Usually a smaller vehicle comes and picks you up. All of those things. Your name is smaller in the credits. So there are small roles. So it's at some point making the decision, what are you playing for? Are you playing for the big leagues? Are you playing for leading roles? Not to say that you're not, it's not going to be a process. And I'm not saying immediately like, oh, never take a one-line role. But at some point, you got to set your mind to that. Are you aiming to just do little day player roles and work here and there? Or are you aiming to become so good they can't ignore you, like Brandon said and like Steve Martin said, so that you're stepping up? And that becomes something that becomes your identity too. Because if you start booking little day players, that's great, and make some cash. But also, if you become satisfied with that, then it's a balance. You want to be grateful for it, but also if you're striving for something more than that, you have to set your target at that mentally and with your identity. So we talked about stepping into the hero mindset. So I just want to urge all of you. You got to smash those limiting beliefs. If you're still telling your stories, and if you believe that story, it's slowing you down, it's not serving you. So really monitor your self-talk. Monitor what you say that when you get an audition or the day before. If you're saying things like, I didn't have enough time for this, or I'm not right for this, or all those limiting beliefs, it's usually, or it's like about the writing, or this writing, just where you're basically telling yourself reasons that you're not going to book the role. It doesn't make any sense. If you understand anything about psychology, you need to understand that you need to think the win and see it and visualize it first, and then you live into that. It's like the world is a reflection of you, but it starts with this. What you are seeing in here ends up being what you see out here in the real world. So you need to start there. Joao says for day 3, he's hoping to learn how to be an audition hero and give my best audition performance for his dream role. Shout out to Joao. Actually, he posted his video in the Facebook group. His dream role is to play Superman or the son of Superman. Thank you for that video. That was great. So moving on from mindset, you guys get the mindset thing, but what does that mean? How do you change that? Like, it's what you're feeding your mind, who you're around. Is your Facebook feed and Instagram feed full of people complaining about shit, and every time you go on social media, it's just tweaking you and making you feel like shit, or it's making you judge other people, or it's making you feel inferior because you're comparing yourself to other people? Or are you feeding yourself with positive influence and positive channels, like subscribe to podcasts, read the books, follow the people who are putting out inspirational and growth-minded things online? Really monitor what's going into your head, because if that's fucked up, it's very difficult to be successful. It's very hard when if your thoughts are all backwards and just aren't aligned, then it's going to be difficult. So next thing after mindset is working on finding more auditions. It is a numbers game. So and now we live in a global world. So it's like, are you subscribed to all of the casting sites, all of the Facebook groups, all of the online places where you can get access to these submissions? After day 2, I want to tell you a funny story. In day 2, we talked specifically about some of the tactics and some of the websites. So if you're looking for some of that info, you can go back to day 2. Literally that day, remember I talked about a little tactic where when you're on social media, when you see audition postings for things that don't fit you, but people, and then you tag them. So you end up tagging people in other castings because you're like, hey, I read this casting. It seems like a cool gig. It seems like you'd be great for it. And then casting starts to see like these names pop up with vouchers and recos. Well, the funny story, that day, like an hour, so 2 days ago on Tuesday when we recorded this, about an hour after we did the, I didn't tell you this, Brandon, but an hour after we did the day 2 broadcast, I got tagged on Facebook several times in the same posting for a $50,000 gig to be a cross Canada host for a Petro-Canada national like web series / like promotions campaign. And I got tagged, boom, 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 when it came up, only because those were other actors who know me, and I have for sure tagged them in gigs online. So talk about a great lesson. I talk about that being like a hack, give first, and then you get things back. That day I got tagged saying, hey, Lars, you'd be great for this. So they saw the breakdown and they're like, Lars, you'd be great for this. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do it, but because I'm union and it was for a non-union casting. But that's like right there. I teach you guys one little hack, and because I've tagged enough people online in casting postings, I get tagged all the time. That was, imagine if I didn't get that tagging and I could audition for that. That's $50,000 that you would lose out, right? So that's a huge tip. So finding more auditions. That also means optimizing all of your marketing materials too. If you have an agent, do they have everything that they can have to sell you? So do they have up-to-date demo reels? Do they have up-to-date headshots? Are all of your measurements on there? Do you have the demo reels, but also do you have clips? If you have special skills, do you have videos of you? It's like there's no better time and easier time to record videos. So if you can ride horses, if you can fence, if you're a boxer or a fighter, do you have all of those locked and loaded? So when the day comes and it says looking for someone, or it says like this kind of experience would be a bonus. So you can submit a winning audition for the scene and the size itself. But then, oh, by the way, here's my fight choreo video, or my singing demo, or my dance demo. So think about that right now. If you're a dancer, do you have a dance demo locked and loaded? Not something when you get the audition that you have to record, but just something that's always there to show people, to get your foot in the door. Is it fighting skills? Is it horseback riding? Whatever your special skills are. Maybe it's some special accents. Do you have a clip of an accent? Do you have a couple strong clips of a monologue or 2 or 6, if you have more than that? So it's just all of your materials. If you want these opportunities, you'd be fucking amazed I bet we get a story. I'm going to throw a challenge right now. I bet for those of you who are thinking a special skill, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, skateboarding, literally any special skill, if you don't have a video for that right now, I bet if you go out there and record, doesn't even have to be anything fancy, 1 minute to 2 minutes. I swear to God, I'll bet all of you, if you do it, someone is going to say, I made that video, and within a week later, I got an audition request asking for someone with skateboard experience, and they asked me to send in my skateboard demo reel, and I fucking just did it last week. I 1,000% believe if you guys make that video, you're going to get that request. It's funny how it works. You take the steps and you kind of meet the universe halfway, and all of a sudden they're like, I see you're willing to do some work and you're making some steps in the right direction. I will meet you in the middle. Happens all the time. So those are some things that you can do to find more auditions. Obviously, we're always helping people here at Actors Audition Club find more. But the other big thing is it's a global community now. So you don't have to just look at your local home markets auditions. Subscribe to all the newsletters, like Google everything right now, or Google, as we like to say. Use Michael Google and Google it. All right, let's move on from finding more auditions. And actually, before we do that, we'll keep it on auditions. Some of you might not have agents. So again, that means shedding that belief because you don't have an agent that you can't get auditions. You can find them, or rather than lamenting that you don't have an agent, specifically set some intentions to get an agent as well. It's like there's a lot of people out there complaining about something that they don't have, while simultaneously not doing anything to get that thing that they're complaining about that they don't have. So they just stand in the middle of no man's land complaining about their lack, and they're not doing anything, which is insane. So make a plan to get an agent, and if you need some help with that too, you can reach out with us. We actually have some training in Actors Audition Club that speaks to how to get an agent and the best strategies and tactics to do that. And there's some things you don't want to do it too early, and you don't want to do it in an unprofessional manner. So that's what I'll say about that. You have no excuse. It's a global opportunity, and there's never been more productions out there producing television, film, streaming content. So there's never been a better time to be an actor. So there's more auditions out there. So you want to manifest some of those for yourself and up your numbers. The next thing is preparing for your auditions. So to make a transformation to get something new in your life, you need to change something. You need to become something. You need to learn some more skills. You need to adopt some new beliefs. Maybe you need to bring some new people into your life. But for circumstances to change, you need to change. The outputs don't change if the inputs don't change. So what are you doing to up-level your audition preparation? And that's a no-brainer. If you're in your life right now complaining to yourself that, I'm not working enough as an actor, but also getting auditions, then you need to be thinking, what can I be doing to seize those opportunities? There's no point getting a bunch of auditions and then just throwing them away. So what are you doing to up-level your preparation? Professionals prepare, they follow systems, they follow checklists, and they put in more time. They just put in more time. They're more prepared. They prepare and they rehearse until they can't get it wrong, rather than preparing and rehearsing till they just get it right. Or Brandon was using the word memorize. A lot of actors just trying to memorize lines. So they'll memorize lines, just going, saying it in their head, blah, 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 blah. Not connected to it. There's no meaning or intention behind it. They're not understanding the scenes. They're not understanding relationships. They're not understanding what they want in the scene, but they're just like memorizing lines and memorizing words. And then worse, they're not even really doing that well, because they only work on it and memorize it until they get it once, and they're like, yeah, I got it memorized. And then they go try and record an audition, and it's a whole different thing. So it's about rehearsing and preparing over and over and over again. We use that 250, but 50, 100, 250 times, 1,000 times is what Michael Caine used to say. He would literally, when he was cast in a movie, he would have said his lines out loud 1,000 times before he stepped on set. So it's just, where is your preparation? How much are you preparing? That allows you to relax. It allows you to be confident, allows you to play. And so it's just, if you're looking to be top level, the further you go in this business, the further, the more fierce the competition is going to be. So you need to be up leveling your game. ADM's new expression for this, click it out. Yes, with that, we showed you that clicker, the little clicker, so you can record how many auditions or how many rehearsals you're doing. What's next here? Number 4 is specifically how to shoot auditions. So the other thing, if you've up-leveled your mindset and your identity and you're stepping into this hero mentality, then you're finding more auditions by using some of these strategies and tactics, and actually just putting the energy out there and seeking out auditions, whether it's for yourself or through your agents and through your reps, and then preparing more so that you're up-leveling your prep, so that when it comes time to shoot, the next thing you do is, okay, what have I done to up-level shooting? What's my camera situation like? What's my lighting situation like? What's my backdrop? If you don't have a home studio, you need to at least look at it and be like, well, what can I do better right now? Could I have a better backdrop? Could I have slightly better lighting? Can I invest in a new webcam or a new cell phone camera or a better tripod or a better laptop stand? Again, professionals use professional equipment. It's going to make your life easier. It's going to make you look like a professional. It's tough I would imagine it's tough for casting to look at, even if the performance is great, if on camera the lighting is shitty, the sound's shitty, they can't really see you. Maybe it's a weird backdrop or distracting backdrop, or you're just in your bedroom and there's laundry all over the place. It's going to be hard for casting to look at that and be like, oh, this is a television and film professional, and I'm going to cast them in a professional $1 million production and trust that they're going to show up as a professional. No, they're just going to be like, oh, this clearly isn't someone who doesn't seem to invest in themselves, doesn't seem to have reached a professional level. Maybe the performance is great, so maybe they show promise. But what are professionals doing? So you got to ask yourself that. So do you have a system, though? Do you have, when you get an audition, do you know where you're going to shoot those? Do you know when you're going to shoot them? Do you have a buddy or a team or a community or a tribe or a studio that you go to? It shouldn't be something that every time you stress about. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be a performance. So you should see it like, oh, great, I get to go do a mini play, or I get to record a mini short film. not, oh my God, where am I going to do this? When am I going to do this? When's the deadline? And then you're bugging your family and friends, and you're bugging your wife, or you're bugging your kids, and then you're getting in some weird relationship problem because they don't really want to be helping you with your auditions because that's not their world. And then just reminding yourself too, every series that you've ever seen, every movie that you've ever watched, use professional crew and they use professional actors. So think about the thought process of, oh, I want to get on a professional show that uses professional crew, professional actors, but I'm going to do it without professional equipment and without professional help, meaning you're using a neighbor or a family member, and you haven't invested at least a little bit into your system. So again, it's about up-leveling things. So that's the transformation number 4 that you can make. If you make a transformation in how you shoot, where you shoot, your studio, who you're actually working with in those auditions, working with someone who is a professional, either an actor who has television, film, and theater experience, or someone who works in the casting world. So they understand production, maybe they've worked behind the camera before as well. Someone that works professionally in the business and understands what you're even doing. All right. Number 5 is building your team and your community. So you up-level your mindset, you increase the number of auditions that you're getting, you up-level your preparation, and you up-level how you're shooting them and the professionalism of your actual audition files and the recordings themselves. Then you add in team and community, meaning you've got a group of people that you're working with on the craft. Hopefully you're all in classes on a regular basis. We strongly suggest Tom Todoroff's studio. They run a weekly Zoom session. We actually have we'll post it in the notes. We have a discount code for those who do want to join. We've got a discount code that'll give you 15% off. And they also offer the first class free. It's amazing class, transformational every week. Tom's amazing. A lot of the lingo that our session directors here at Laughing Vikings Actors Audition Club use are based on Tom's teaching, because in our opinion, it's the best system that we've ever run into. So assuming you're in those classes, it's about building that community and building a team. That's what we have here at Actors Audition Club. And one of our favorite things is how we get to celebrate other actors' wins, because it can be a lone wolf syndrome type career where you can feel like you're just in it, like you're just out there in this weird world fighting for auditions and fighting for roles yourself. But all of a sudden, when you have a community where people that you can help rehearse with, people that you're getting help with your auditions and recording, people to share stories of victory, people to share stories of frustration, people to share resources with, just some place to commune with. It's like you want a community. There's a reason we're social beings as humans. Like, we didn't all grow up being lone wolves and we just go off into the bushes by ourselves and live as nomads for the most part. It's because we like to be around people, and it's that idea of 1 + 1 = 3. So those are the 5, what I would say are transformational building blocks. So for you to take the transformation from wherever you are now with your struggles, frustrations, stresses, and anxieties in auditions, then you want that transformation to become an audition hero. Focus on those 5 things. That's what we focus on here at Actors Audition Club. Again, your mindset, your identity, how to find more auditions, how to up-level your rehearsals, how to up-level your actual shooting and recording of those videos, and then building a community, whether it's a friend or a neighbor, but someone who's in the business and is also a television, film, acting professional. And you do those five things, then it's constantly rinse and repeat. So every 3 to 6 months, go through those. Am I up-leveling my mindset? Am I continuing to learn and grow? Am I continuing to seek out new audition opportunities and find more audition opportunities and find new sources for those? Am I improving my rehearsal technique and my rehearsal process? Am I constantly up-leveling my studio? So not just one time, but constantly looking at your setup. What can I be doing better? What can I be improving? How can you be increasing those percentages? Because you dial all those up. It's like, if you just improve all of these little things, if you improve things five things 5%, you end up with really an exponential increase in your numbers and in your success. So if you just do the math on dialing up these little, Brandon says, mine is number 5, team and community. All right. So I just want to address any other roadblocks or objections. We've gone through 3 days of training with you. So hopefully you've completed some of those tasks and you're taking notes and you're taking some of these ideas and actually turning them into actions. None of this matters. What do they say? Information is power. Not really. Information plus executing on that information is power, because it's through those actions and through the execution of those actions that you actually create change. You can learn all you want up here and be like, yeah, everything Lard said makes total sense and I'm going to do all that. But if you don't do any of it, then nothing changes. So it's about smashing through any of those reasons. So I want to just ask you, do you have any other beliefs or objections or frustrations or obstacles? Like, are there things in your head right now that you're still thinking, oh, I can't do this because, or I would be able to be successful at auditions, but, and feel free to type those in the chat right now. I'll start with a couple. And if you guys have any specific ones, ask them and we'll deal with some of those. But again, the people who don't have an agent, there's a million other ways to find auditions, even if you don't have an agent. Long term, yeah, of course, great to get an agent, especially if you're looking for professional, high-end, union, Hollywood type productions. But even if you are not a newbie, there's still tons of ways that you can find other auditions. So it's releasing that story and then also combining that with, how do you get an agent? So be taking the steps to get an agent as well. So just not letting that be something that's holding you back anymore. Just ask yourself, what stories am I telling myself and hanging on to that are holding me back? And how can I let go of those stories? Great question to ask yourself. Maybe you're in a small market is another one. I'm not in a big city. I'm not in Toronto, LA, Vancouver, New York, London. We live in a global community now. So the fact that you're here on this Audition Hero workshop is a testament to the fact that you can connect with people from anywhere. So you can find castings from anywhere in the world. There's no reason that being in a small town, yeah, eventually, do you want to get to those big towns? Sure. But even if you never did, you can have an amazing career. You can self-submit from where you are. And when they want you and when they book you, then you can travel and shoot wherever they're going to shoot it. But don't let that hold you back. Some people, you might be saying, oh, my family doesn't support me. My wife, my spouse, my parents, they think I should be doing something real with my life. Get that a lot. Oh, you're going to play make-believe. Just remember and trust that your dream was given to you and you alone. That little voice that whispers to you that you should be doing this and that you want to be an actor, and you want to be a performer, and you want to work in television, film, theater. That wasn't given to your mom or your dad or your brothers or sisters or your neighbors. Any of those people, you don't need their support. You actually don't need their support. Sure, it would be nice if you had it, but the fact that that dream and that whispering was given to you, it's your job to answer that call, regardless of what other people will say about it. So if you have naysayers in your life, you just got to dismiss the fact, like, why do you need yes sayers? What's the opposite of a naysayer? Yes sayer? Yay sayer? Yay sayer? Yay sayer. You don't need yay sayers in your life. The only yay sayer you need is this one right here. You need this one to be fucking fully on board and be like super yay. And all the naysayers really don't matter. It's nice. And just remember, as I know Tom always says this, and I've heard this a lot, was when you set real lofty goals, and when you're trying to accomplish something, when you're working on accomplishing something huge, shadow forces will align and forces of light will align. So that means the second you want to do something big in your life, there's going to be obstacles and there's going to be people that come at you, noise, chatter, people maybe wanting to drag you down or keep you where you are. And then simultaneously, there's going to be people that when they see what you want to do, they want to hop on board. They want to support. They want to lift you up. Maybe some of those naysayers flipped to yay sayers, but they just needed you to show them a little more and to take it a little further yourself. Maybe they weren't willing to hop on the bandwagon from ground zero, but they start to see some momentum and some progress, start to see you booking, start to see you investing more in your career and in your auditions. And they're like, you know what? This person is really serious about this, so I'm going to support them. I thought this was just a pie in the sky dream. Someone says, fucking yay. What else? Some people might say no time too. That's a big objection. Well, I would have great auditions, but I don't have enough time. They always give them to me last minute. You got to get over that. It's the nature of the business. Yeah, maybe you could do a better job if you had a little more time. Prepping is great, and the more prep you have, usually the better that your audition can become to a point. But you can't lament that you're not going to seize your dreams and have the career of a lifetime and the role of a lifetime because you didn't have enough time. We have the same amount of time. You got to just decide. The more you improve your process, the more efficient and the more professional your process is, the less time you will need. So rather than say, oh, I wish they would give me more time, maybe ask yourself, how can I make better use of the short amount of time that I get so that when I do get a last minute audition, I can be the guy that seizes that opportunity and solves the problem for casting and production. Because they're like, oh shit, we got to cast this role and there's a short deadline. Who are we going to find? And it's like you put your hand up and boom, 2 hours later, you have a killer audition that you've submitted, rather than lamenting, oh, I wish I had a week to do this audition. So it's, again, a shift in your mindset. But if you don't have a process and you don't have systems and you don't have a rehearsal process and checklist, then of course it's going to be very vague and wishy-washy, and it's always going to take you longer than it needs to. But the more you up-level those systems, the faster you'll be able to turn around. You don't need more time. You just need better processes and systems. And you need to use the time that you have better. We've all been guilty of procrastinating. Like I've had plenty where I was given a week and I didn't really get my ass in gear till the final weekend. But that's something that I got to shift too. So those are some of the objections. Do we have any other objections or like obstacles, things that you guys are dealing with that are like you're still convinced you can't make this transformation into your Audition Hero career and your Audition Hero life? If there's something that's still holding you back and you're just like, oh man, I just can't get around this, let me know in the chat. If we don't get to it today, then we'll follow up in the Facebook group. Make sure that you have officially registered and make sure that you're in the Facebook group as well, because that's where all the action goes on. I want to just talk to you guys a little bit right now about where you are in your actor life. If you are in your audition life, if you have been struggling with self-tapes, if you have some stress and anxiety, you're feeling like you're not getting enough auditions, you're feeling like you're not seizing those auditions and seizing those opportunities. Maybe you have stress at home even because of your auditions and your acting career. Maybe worst case, some of you on this call are thinking, am I really even cut out for this? Should I really make a go of this? Or should I throw in the towel and hang it up? And maybe this whole thing, maybe I should listen to that person in my family who says, get a real job. Hopefully you're not thinking that. But if you are, I think that's what's going on for you. That's what's going on for you. But that is the reason that we have started Actors Audition Club. That's our signature community. And the doors for our Actors Audition Club will be opening in just a few days. So if you want to join that international community where we help actors record winning auditions without stress, without anxiety, without tech troubles, without having to bug your family and friends, so that you can focus on your performance, focus on your craft, and ultimately increase the speed, efficiency, and effectiveness of your auditions so that you book more roles in television and film, then you can join the wait list by going to laughingvikings.com/join. And you can hop on the wait list, and that'll get you first notified when we do open the doors to that community. We only open our enrollment a couple times per year, and we'll be doing it again in a few days here. So if you've been on this call, you've been on the workshops, I know you've been here for a reason. You wouldn't have watched and spent, what have we probably spent close to 6 hours together now by the end of these 3 sessions. You wouldn't have stayed this long, and you wouldn't have invested the time and energy into yourself if you weren't the type of person that is looking for a change and looking to transform your career. So congratulations to you. So I'll talk just very briefly about Actors Audition Club. When members join, really what they have is they've joined a community of audition professionals that are there to help them up-level their auditions. So with the membership, and when members do become enrolled, that gives you access to an extensive library of video training where we talk about all these things in detail: how to get more auditions, how to improve your audition prep, how to land agents, how to improve your relationship with agents, interviews with other actors and other film professionals. We've got training on how to improve your Shakespeare work. We've got all kinds of tips and hacks about how to up-level your home studio. So no matter where you are in your acting life, if you have a question, we can direct you to that video archive that answers these questions and helps you get to the next level and helps you up-level things. It also gives you access to regular monthly live trainings and live coachings in a group community setting where we hop on a Zoom or on a live stream where we talk about a specific topic regarding or relating to auditions, and or we answer your questions specifically about auditions. We can work live with actors on their auditions to coach them a little bit and to improve their processes. But that's also an opportunity for you to share resources with other actors, to meet other actors internationally, to start to connect and collaborate with them. So those regular monthly meetings, that's an opportunity where we have some face time in that group coaching, where we can be sharing resources and just sharing opportunities, again, under the theme of rising tide lifts all boats. Also, our regular private Facebook community online, where all of our members of Actors Audition Club have access to that community, where, again, we share casting notices, we share videos and tips and resources, and it's a chance for us to communicate and connect with each other. And then one of the biggest things is having what I like to call your own audition concierge, so that the second you get an audition request from your agent or something that you found, you have your go-to people where with a few clicks of a button on your phone or through our link in bio on Instagram or Facebook, just with a few clicks, you book a audition session with a session director. So rather than have to stress or have anxiety about who am I gonna work with, where am I gonna shoot this, when am I gonna shoot this, our members of Actors Audition Club don't have to think about that. They get an email from their agent or they find a new audition on their own, and then just a couple boop, bop, bop, and they book Brandon Knox, for example, on a Zoom session. A couple hours later, Brandon works with them for an hour, helping as a reader, helping as a director and coach, helping with framing and lighting to make sure that eye lines and frame and everything looks professional, and then editing the videos as well, so that our members, when they walk into the studio or when we do it virtually all over the world through Zoom, you as the actor don't have to think about anything but the craft and performance, so that you don't have to do a million things. One of my business mentors, James Wedmore, always says, do less, earn more, meaning focus on your zone of genius. It is challenging. A lot of actors are lamenting these days, oh, I got to be a Zoom professional, I got to be a camera professional, I got to know how to edit, I got to be able to do all these self-tapes, and I got to have a home studio and all these things. Well, through Actors Audition Club, you really don't need to, because we take care of a lot of that for you. So if you're a person who's looking to relieve yourself of stress and anxiety from your auditions, might even up-level your family relationships because you won't have to bug them about it, that's the opportunity to join Actors Audition Club. So if you go to the wait list, that'll be opening in a few days, and you'll be the first notified, and you'll get all the details on exactly what Actors Audition Club includes, all the benefits for you as a member to make that audition transformation, and how to get enrolled and all that jazz. So make sure to hit that wait list. And I want to challenge all of you right now. There's all of us to make transitions, like and transformations is a bold thing. You can either stay exactly where you are right now, or you can make changes. And wherever you are right now, I don't know everyone's individual situations, but I know that you're here today and you wouldn't have invested the time and energy unless you wanted to improve. You're here to improve your auditions and to grow and to change and to reach a new level in your career and in your life. So I want to just challenge you. What is the cost of not changing? Yeah, you can do nothing. And maybe you just watch all these and you don't really take any actions and you just keep lamenting and keep having the problems and frustrations and challenges. But I just want to make you understand that every audition that you have, you're only ever one audition away from your life changing. That could be a 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure opportunity. That's something that the cost of not changing and not becoming your best has huge implications for you and your life, for your family, for your kids, for your grandkids potentially. So I want to just challenge all of you to think beyond yourself. And we talked in day one, a lot of that hero mindset is about realizing that you're a role model and realizing that there's more to this than just you. It's about more people than you. So you improving your auditions and improving your career, think about the ripple effect that has on your family, again, your spouse, your kids, the other actors that are in your circle. When they see you recommitting and upping your discipline and upping your professionalism and improving your life and staying around high vibe people and investing in yourself, they're going to take note and they're going to be like, wow, that person is really going hard at this. They really want this and they're doing what it takes. So it's about more than you. So just really understand that. And you can make no changes always is the easiest thing to do, but make no mistake, you're either moving forward or you're falling backwards. There's really no staying the same. And you got to ask yourself, go back to day one, what do you see for yourself? Where do you want your life to be? Where do you want your career to be? And then you look at that gap and decide, okay, what do I have to do to get there? Sometimes a lot of it is just here. You don't really have to do a whole lot sometimes, but change your own mentality and change the way that you're seeing things. So we encourage you to check out that wait list. We love what we do here at Actors Audition Club. This has been amazing to meet all of you here through through Audition Hero. We want to give you one last call to action. You want to bring that up. So this is your final contest call to action. What I want everyone to do, and this is twofold, so that we can anchor some of the thoughts and some of the learning that you've had on this 3-day workshop series, but also this is so that we can improve it, so that we can add to it. So I want to get some feedback from all of you. You can drop this in the chat now, but please also go to the Audition Hero Facebook page as well and share your biggest takeaway from Audition Hero. If you want to share a handful, maybe it's 1, 2, 3 things. But at worst case, your biggest takeaway, and let us know what next step, big or small, that you're committed to taking and that you're going to commit by saying it in the chat or by stating it in the Facebook group. You're making a declaration. This next step, this next right action is something that I commit to up-level my professionalism and take that first step to begin your Audition Hero transformation. So that's the call to action. So once again, share your biggest takeaway. Let us know the biggest takeaway and what you are committed to. What's your next action that when you leave, maybe when we hang up this live today, you're going to do it right now. Don't just put it on a list to do it in a week. What's something that you can do right now? Get a quick win so that you give yourself that positive feeling of like, okay, I'm actually making changes here immediately, rather than waiting till next week or a month or whenever you think you're going to do it. Make quick action, quick wins right now. And I want to throw this up there. Fucking yay. Fucking yay. All right. You guys are the best. We love doing this here. Our mission here at Laughing Vikings and Actors Audition Club is to uplift, inspire, and empower a global audience of 1 billion people by helping actors and comedians share their stories via TV, film, and live performances. Actors Audition Club is the community that we use to help actors record professional and winning auditions without tech troubles, without bugging family and friends, without stress and anxiety, so that you as an actor can just focus on your performance, focus on the craft, focus on your storytelling, and ultimately book more roles in television and film and step into your dream role in 2022. So it's been a pleasure to work with you and to share some of this with you. Make sure that we get your feedback. Make sure that you have officially registered so that you can follow for those the prizes and the giveaways. Hit that wait list to be first notified when we do open the doors to Actors Audition Club, so you can be the first to get enrolled. We'll talk about how to get enrolled, when to get enrolled, where to get enrolled. You'll get all those details first. And the other thing is make sure to follow the podcast as well. We got episode 100 coming up soon. Big thanks to all the audition heroes. We had Brandon Knox on the show today. Also, shout out to Lucy Sanzi, to Amy Emanuel, to Katerina Vitkoff, all of our session directors. And also you heard from today from Jareen Ignatius, from Adam Daniel Mazet, from Shaquille James Hostins. Previously, you saw testimonials from members like Chris Sandiford, like Phil Lutzi, also Chris Robinson, as well. So thank you to all of our members here. We love doing this. We love working with actors, and just make this the year that you step up into that hero mindset, so that you can live the life and have the career and life of your dreams. It is within you. It's just going to take a little work and a little bit of mindset shift and a little bit of surrounding yourself with the right type of people. So high five, high five, high five. You guys have completed Audition Hero. Congratulations. Make sure to do the homework so that you can win that final Audition Hero prize of a free session with an Actors Audition Club session director by sharing your biggest takeaway for Audition Hero. Let us know what your first right action is going to be. Let us know what you are committed, what you are etching in stone, what we can count on, what we know you are going to get done, whether you're doing it today or by the end of the year. But tell us when you're going to get that done, how you're going to get it done. Congratulations, Audition Hero. We have come to the end. I love all of you, and we'll see you inside Actors Audition Club, and we'll see you at the next Audition Hero workshop. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you